Hi.
Extra poached egg, ma'am. Baka gusto niyo po for your view.
No, thank you.
Okay na po.
Gusto mo?
Na lang.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay po, and then yung letters po.
Hi. We'll see.
Very far. May traffic.
Ay, hindi pa. Babayaran pa nga pala to. Ano ba yan? Pwede.
Oh, yun nga bro, bigat mo.
Yeah, ito na lang. This one. Oh. Ano yun? Bola na. Hindi ko alam.
Sa bola.
Ay, ito pa. Editing. Mukhang drink. Dili na po po drink. What's up? Hey guys! Welcome to another edition of Atty.H Legal Diaries. I know, it's been a while. Like, it's been a long while since I got to, talk to you face-to-face ulit, one-on-one. Masyadong maraming ganap, masyadong maraming nangyari. But here I am, ready to dish out on what's the latest, sort of. In Philippine law, this is an interesting case. Yung i-share ko this morning, afternoon, night, whatever time it is at your place, wherever you're watching this. We are much more familiar with RA 9262, the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children law, passed in 2004. Well, we're more familiar or mas sanay with the fact that this law actually protects women primarily. So the victims are primarily women in this case, and their children. Basically, in the more than 10 years, 11 years that I have been on either side of the stick on this law, whether as petitioner, complainant, or as respondent, in all cases that I've handled, 9262 cases, more commonly known as VAWC, it's always the male who is the offender, and it's always the woman who is the complainant or the plaintiff or petitioner praying for a protection order against a male partner or a male spouse. And this time around, in this case, this is why it's very interesting. It's because it's the first time that the Supreme Court has ruled in favor of a male petitioner. But this isn't because the male petitioner is the one who is offended or is the offended party, but rather it's the male petitioner who is acting, or the father is acting on behalf of their minor child. Okay, so kwento time. So this is the case of Randy Knutson on behalf of his minor child, RHUBY Knutson, against Rosalina Knutson. So in 2005, Randy met Rosalina. Si Randy ay isang American citizen. Rosalina is a Filipino citizen, and they got married in Singapore. They eventually had a child called RHUBY. In 2011, the family lived in the Philippines. Kaya lang, Randy discovered that Rosalina was medyo maraming extracurricular activities. So, ang girl natin dito, si ate girl Rosalina, was discovered to have an affair. Randy and Rosalina eventually became estranged after Randy found out about Rosalina's extramarital affairs. Even if hiwalay na sila ni Randy and ni Rosalina, Randy still supported Rosalina because of RHUBY. And Ruby, take note, was in the custody or is in the custody of the mother, Rosalina in this case. Rosalina got hooked into casinos, like full-on betting, full-on gambling. And this eventually led into, patong-patong na utang, many debts on the part of Rosalina. Rosalina got into such large and deep debt that Rosalina was pushed or prompted into selling out their house in order to pay back the loans she had with the casino financiers. Rosalina sold a house and lot. She sold a condominium unit. She also sold vehicles that Randy actually provided for the family. Actually, Rosalina rented an apartment with her boyfriend, stayed there. Ruby also still stayed with them, being a minor daughter or minor child of Randy and Rosalina. Eventually, it was learned by Randy that Rosalina was actually physically abusing Ruby. And it wasn't only just Ruby that Rosalina was hitting, but Rosalina was also abusing or physically abusing her own mother. And this is also happening while Ruby was looking or while in the presence of Ruby. Magandang trivia din sa case na ito. The landlord where Rosalina and her ekals was staying in actually kicked them out of the apartment where they were renting, nina Ruby and Rosalina's mother and this boy toy. They got kicked out because Rosalina had marijuana plants planted in the garden. I painted a grim picture of what Rosalina is actually at this point. So on December 7, 2017, Randy filed a special case for the issuance of a temporary protection order and a permanent protection order on behalf of their minor Ruby against her own mother, Rosalina. This is absolutely new, I guess, to the RTC or the Regional Trial Court where this was filed. Eventually, the RTC said, no, we have to dismiss this case, which they did. They dismissed the case on account that the petitioner is male and the offender is female, which is, sabi ng court, wasn't covered or hindi allowed under RA 9262 or VAWC. The case progressed because, of course, Randy wasn't happy with the decision of the RTC dismissing his petition on behalf of Ruby. Randy filed a motion for reconsideration. Randy basically questioned the decision of the RTC, led to this petition before the Supreme Court asking the question of whether 9262 allows the father of the offended party to apply for protection orders and custody orders. We can't really totally blame the Regional Trial Court for dismissing the case of Randy because, well, on one side, the legislative intent naman talaga when 9262 was passed was to protect women and children from domestic abuse. Inarguably, the offended parties in a 9262 case are really women and their children. But nevertheless, big words, it's improper to conclude that the law denies a father of these remedies under the law solely because of his gender, or that he is not a woman victim of violence. Section 9B of RA 9262 expressly states, parents or guardians of the offended party to file a petition for the issuance of protective orders. So the law categorically uses the term parents, not woman or not mother or not even just father, but parents. So either it can be filed by a mother, a father, or even a lolo or a lola or a guardian on behalf of a minor offended party to have recourse under the law. So I will put here or here, depende sa editing, I'll put here the remedies basically that a protection order usually has or normally provides. So here it is under RA 9262. There is no question that the petitioner in this case is actually Ruby, the minor child of Randy and Rosalina. Ruby, the person who allegedly experienced abuse and violence. Therefore, the Supreme Court said Randy may assist Ruby in the filing of this case or in the filing of a protection order against Rosalina invoking RA 9262. In this case, Randy is not asking for a protection order under RA 9262 for his own good or in his own favor. Rather, Randy was acting as a parent, representing RHUBY in this case, as the father or as RHUBY's dad in the filing of the petition for the issuance of a protective order or protection order against Rosalina, the mother. This is one of those rare cases, unfortunately, where it is the mother who committed psychological and physical abuse and emotional abuse against her own child. The court actually ended with a very nice quote. I'll reproduce it here. The court refuses to be an instrument of injustice and public mischief perpetrated against vulnerable sectors of the society, such as children victims of violence. The Supreme Court ordered the RTC to immediately issue a permanent protection order against Rosalina, and that it be ordered immediately. Do you agree with the decision of the Supreme Court in this case? Hit the comment section and chat with me. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching and have a great weekend.